All right, diving back into this particular Project Life spread, I'm hoping that at this point in the video, like you saw me add on the labels, these little around here labels. These were from the around here scrap or story kit, and I just cut off the bottom, so they were 2x4, and I decided to just use them as labels. And then I used the stamp set too that says there's always something around here. So I just used those as an embellishment on top of each of my photos, or each of my 4x6 photos. So I'm going to slip those into the pocket. And for this one, I may have said this already. I did. I filled all the pockets with photos, and I have one on a particular journal card, which also is from the Around Here kit. I'm just diving into that or using up pieces from that because it's so great for Project Life specifically. I also, I did 5 of them, I think, because we just had 5, but there's also 5 on here. This is from the birthday scrapbook kit, so the birthday story kit, Celebrate Goodness. And on the back, I'm just going to write 5 different memories from this week, and I'm going to add some sort of embellishment on there. It might be, actually, this one would, that currently, or the life right now, one of these little tags. Maybe I'll do this one because it's here. It's the same as this little guy down here. So let's just do that right now. I'm definitely in I'm catching up, which I don't have any that like catching up for me. There's no negative feelings in that. It's just what we're doing. Like, right. It's all of us figuring out times to balance out our projects, the creative projects that we're into, the life projects that we're dealing with, right? All of those different kinds of things. So I like keeping, this one's fairly simple. So the other thing I'm going to do, let's use a little red line. Actually, this one I think we can just put, I'm just going to roll a little adhesive on there. I'm going to stick it right down, essentially kind of in the middle there. I could have used the brad as an actual functional brad to go through the paper, but it's fine. I already did it that way. So then this is going to get adhered down, and then I'm going to write on top. And then the other thing that I'm going to add on to this one, just I think I'm thinking about in this particular moment as I'm talking about this, and I might have talked about this earlier because I worked on this a couple weeks ago, I think. So it's been a minute since I was recording. Is just, keeping it simple. Like some weeks I want to do more crafty stuff and have lots more things. And other weeks it's nice to just be like, okay, here's 5 things from this particular week. And here's just some simple little embellishments. So one of the pictures I printed out was a screenshot of our seats on the airplane. So I thought that was kind of fun. And I used this shaped sticker from our label sticker sheets. You may have a selection of label stickers, as I do here, from lots of different things. So I was thinking, I was going to see how many of that shape did I have, and did I have multiples that were also that color? I know I have multiples of the shape. Actually, that one's not exactly the same. This one's a shinier one. Some of these I've cut up. There's one, I could use that one too. You can see those ones that yellow would probably work also. And there's some gold ones, gold, silver. Oh, yep, yes. Okay, that's what I thought. I think that these ones in particular, which I like that I can match them up. I think that those were from like the Storytelling Basics collection, maybe at some point in time. But this has long been my favorite die, my favorite shape of the labels. I think I did stick it, and sometimes I stick it just on the outside. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put one here. It's essentially kind of in the middle. So sometimes I'm working outside the page protector. Sometimes I'm working inside the page protector. I'm letting that be what it is. So I'm going to put one on this one here. This one will go up above a little bit. Again, it could easily just be on the picture, but sometimes it's fun to kind of mess around. Okay, and then I've got one more here that I'm going to add on top right here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling on top of each of those. I'm going to leave this one blank because I like how that one just goes to that. And then I'm going to add my journaling on here. All right, so I went back to that Around Here stamp set again to pull off another couple of sentiments. I'm going to stamp a repeated sentiment, which I think is maybe the life right now. Let's see which one it says. Stuff of life. Okay, I'm using stuff of life, and I'm stamping that directly onto, I'm using Stays On, stamping that directly onto the label stickers that I added on there, and then I'll be going in and handwriting my journaling. And then the other one that I'm using is the life right now. So that is also from that Around Here stamp set, which I'm going to share just a little bit more about that with you right now. Just a note on story stamps. So this is from our stamp subscription, our story stamp subscription. If there is a particular stamp set that you like, maybe you don't want to subscribe every month. We do have a month-to-month subscription where if there's one in particular that you want to get, you can sign up, have it shipped to you, and then you can reach out to our customer service and you can cancel the subscription. So we do have a month-to-month price option on there. This stamp set in particular, I'm already using it a bunch of times, and I use it in the classroom too. It's just a great, like, I really like the size of them, particularly great for, stamping onto a label or something like that, or stamping onto something that you might cut out, or, adding it onto some other kind of embellishment, especially for everyday life targeted storytelling. So just a heads up in case you didn't know that. All right, so adding journaling, I'm just doing, again, handwritten journaling directly onto the labels, and then I'm also going to handwrite directly onto the numbered 3x8 card there. I love this kind of journaling, and I think it's always a good reminder that it can be really simple, right? It can be fun, it can be specific to the photos, where you're just adding a little bit of context, right? You're saying a little bit of something. Maybe it's who's in the picture, or maybe it's where you were, or maybe it's what you were thinking, or maybe it's something specific about why you would include this photo in the first place, right? That's the whole point of adding words with our photos, is giving some sort of context and explaining a little bit of the reason why we thought this was something that we would want to memorialize in the first place. So I'm just adding a little bit of context to each one of those, and then I'm going to pull that 3x8 paper over. I love having numbers on paper. I feel like that's just such a great invitation into list style journaling, which is what I'm going to do on this one. So in this case, with this particular week, and the fact that I'm doing some catch up stuff here, what I tried to do as I was writing down was just kind of give an overview, right? Like, what were the different things that were happening over the course of the week? I'm also looking specifically at the pictures with those little story cards from the Around Here story kit that were added on there. Those ones actually had numbers on them, and they had a 1 through 5. So I'm doing a little bit of lining up my journaling, what I'm referencing. Like in this one, this is a photo of the photo with the number 3 tab or label on it now. Is a photo of Aaron's mom with Betty. So when I was traveling, he went and visited his mom and took Betty with him. Betty's the dog. And they had a nice little visit, and he had sent this photo of her sitting with Betty, which I feel like is a really special photo. So I love that. So I'm writing about that, and then I'm writing about how we stayed in a hotel at the airport and how great that was, and that's the number 4 photo. And then the 5th thing that I wrote down here was, how happy I was to be traveling with Katie again. We're just really good travel partners, and it's been a while. It's been like a year since we've gone somewhere together, it feels like. So this is one of those weeks where it's really just kind of capturing some of the things, right? Zero intention of trying to do a deep dive into the week. It's just an overview. And that's one of the things that I love about this particular project too, is that on the times when you want to, or the times when you can add more. And then even if your approach every single week is simply filling in the pockets with photos and a couple journal cards, that is amazing and beautiful. And how lucky are we that we get to do this, right? That we have the time and the space and the energy to be able to fill in some pockets. One of the things that I'm doing here is I'm stamping the date. I didn't do this on the first 11 weeks, but I'm going to go back in. I missed having the actual date of the week on the cards. So I'm going to go back in and do that on those the previous weeks, and then I'll be doing that in the future as well. So here's the one for week 13. This again is in the story classroom, but that is where I'm printing those on transparency now, and I'm just adding the date on that one, and then it'll sit right underneath the inkjet transparency that I printed those on. So that is a fun way to add that in too. All right, let me know if you have questions, and otherwise I'll see you guys back here again soon.